Good evening, welcome to the Templeton Good evening, welcome to the Templeton Recreation Committee meeting. I have Chris Lotting on Zoom. I have Joy Tainter, Candace Graves, Derek Sutton, and myself. Let's start this with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So we have approved minutes, the minutes from the September meeting. Joy, were you able to amend them?
From the September meeting. No. The way to amend meeting notes are, or was back in my day, you don't accept them at the meeting, and then you tell me the difference, and I will put that into the notes for tonight,
Okay.
so that then hopefully they'll all be there.
Well, all right. Then.
So what is it that you wanted done differently?
Can't say anything about the books and the laptop, like not being able to see Candace.
Okay, well, it's true, but that's how it is.
Dave's last name is spelled wrong. Candace's name is spelled wrong.
In this,
Yes.
oh no. How's your name spelled?
Candace.
That's what I've got here. What do we have in here? Something else.
Autocorrect does autocorrect it.
Candace.
Again, you have all the changes right there.
Oh, what should be done? Yes.
Maybe just amend with those suggested changes and taking out the.
Okay. So can I pass this along to Joy? Could you please give this to Joy? I motion to
Thank you.
table these so that way they can be amended and fixed for our next meeting.
I second it.
Okay, thank you.
Or you can just accept them as amended.
Oh,
Or unless you
can
want to
do
see them,
that?
it's up to you. I mean, I'm not trying to tell your board how to accept minutes, but. I
What
leave
would
that
be
to the
easier,
board.
Joy? Would it be easier just for you just to take them like that? We accept them like that, or do you want to redo them?
Oh, no, I'll redo them.
Okay, do you, all right.
and
Joy
you
said
can-
she'll redo them. All right, moving on.
we
So,
gotta- we gotta vote on that.
oh, we just did.
No, we all have to
She
say
said,
it
yeah,
and
Chris
him
too.
on
Oh,
TV.
Chris is, yeah.
Chris,
Yes.
okay. So we're good.
Yes.
All right, soccer. The soccer season has gone pretty well, I think. The final day is this Saturday, and I would like to thank Susie Green, our coordinator, for doing a good job. And for all the coaches and the referees for showing up, the two that we have. All right, basketball. The coordinator and his assistant has been hired. We met with Dr. Kazanant to discuss the use of the middle school gym. We can have it maybe a little bit on Friday. We have it on Saturday and Sunday mornings. Games for the younger kids may be scheduled for Sunday mornings, depending on the numbers that we have. And registration forms we're supposed to do live registration at soccer. I had a family affair, so I wasn't there to do it last week, but the week before we had a couple registrations. I did have the administrative assistants at Templeton Center and the middle school distribute the registration forms and the form that went along with it about our COVID protocols and what we expect out of behavior and such. And that will be dispersed this week. The online registration in the Unipay. Chris, did you get a chance to look at that? I mean, the Jersey Watch?
So I was looking through it a little bit, but I thought Candace was going back and forth with them on some of the questions that I answered.
Yeah,
Asked.
I got your email, but I wasn't allowed to, I'm not supposed to email you back directly, I guess. So, I took everything that that I got in that email, that when I sent everybody everything out, you had to send a response back, and I copied it and I gave it to the company and, the gentleman I've been talking to, and he responded and he just sent it back, and it was basically just saying that, you know, how it's secure, how they don't sell their stuff, but I mean, Justice, I was having him look it over for me because, you know, he's more of technically savvy about this stuff. Justice, do you have anything to say, or are you still looking at it,
Well,
the rest of the
Oh.
other thing?
well, that's just. The, I hadn't been involved in, you know, granted my mother's on the commission, but I hadn't been involved in this. But my mom asked me to look at the privacy, the terms of privacy, and it's basically as they described in the email that they gave back to you, they don't sell it. There is a caveat where, but I think at this point, you just have to email them and say that you don't want targeted third-party ads or whatever, that kind of language, but otherwise they don't sell. The site looks secure. I mean, you have the email.
Yeah,
It's-
like I said, I've been
I've
in
seen,
it,
I mean, Facebook's more aggressive.
yeah. Like I said, they gave me the response, and I just asked Justice to look over the response and match it with what it was on their website too, just match it for me to make sure that what they were telling me, what they were telling me, because he could see any more detail that I might be missing. He had gone in it to play with it a little bit too, earlier on when I was looking at it. I found it very simple. And everything that Chris had asked me, you know, it's secure, it's, they don't sell their stuff, and like, it's just like everybody else, they do. I mean, I didn't see any issues. Like I said, it's for the coordinators, and it's so the treasurer can track what would be in Unipay. It would, oh, the Unipay thing, it's a link. You just put a link up on the page, and when you register, you put a disclaimer saying that when you finish this program, you should go to, you know, the Unipay program, and it tells you how you have to put in your town, and you have to put in rec and all those steps that you do when you go to Unipay. There's no other way around it. All the schools are the same way. When you register your child in a sports program, they're all in Unipay, so you have to go into those that step, you know, your town, your what department and all that. So it's the same thing. It's just a link, and it just says that we recommend that you do it as soon as you finish this form, so that way we can mark it off that you've paid right away, so there's no problem with you starting on the first day of the program. So that's, you know, what you would put, and it has its little, like, the basketball can be in there, the soccer can be in there, the coordinators for those, and then our treasurer can be in it, and they can match the paperwork so that you can see it. Plus, it gives our department a sense to have access to the email, so we can send out blasts before the next sporting event to tell them about it too. So that's what I liked about it. I mean, it's $300 and something, and you're getting a website basically with the ability to register and have them say, you know, the initial assign their name to a waiver, you know. And if you try to read people's registration forms for any, it's horrible. And so you're guessing and you're doing detective work, like, okay, let's look at the state of Massachusetts where it says MA, and okay, that's how they make an M, and let's go look in their name and see if that's an M or if that's what letter is this? So, I mean, that's the hard part about people's handwriting whereas typing is so much easier. Plus the coordinators, I just think it's cut some time off of their stuff.
So how come we can't see I don't understand, how come you couldn't send out an email with their responses on it?
Well, you asked me directly to me about a response to your question. And I guess I'm meeting laws or whatever. I'm not supposed to directly, I can do to the chair, but I'm not supposed to. I mean, in the meeting, I said I would send everybody the paperwork. We all agreed that I would do it, so I could send you all the paperwork that you asked me for. But I guess, I don't know. Justice, what do you say?
So when you had done it, you had spoken to the security issues during the meeting, but you asked more specific questions when you emailed out, and you didn't just email out to Candy, it was addressed to her, but it was to the entire commission. And I told her to be safe, don't reply all to that, just keep it until the meeting and then explain it there to avoid an OML violation. And plus, at this point, you guys didn't know, so.
Well, that's correct. You can't deliberate outside of your meeting.
Right. I didn't know.
I mean,
so I just-
so I'm just trying to understand, we can't deliberate, but how do we have to just draft the requirements and stuff during this meeting? I mean, we're just doing like a analysis of alternatives between the different vendors and trying to get the requirements together, right? And then deliberate in this session, what we found, that this is the privacy, this is what we found between the different ones. I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, is it
As long as-
Because it wasn't a decision or deliberation, right?
Yeah, as long as the number of people in the correspondence does not equal a quorum, then
Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Dan's talking.
Oh, sorry.
Dave, go ahead.
as long as the number of people in the email chain does not equal a quorum of the committee, then it is okay.
Oh, okay. I guess.
The challenge is if you started deliberation and everybody's CC'd on it, and then somebody else comes in, you're opening yourself up. You're better off. If Chris has specific questions to Candy and Chris spoke to Candy, let's say on the phone, that wouldn't be considered a deliberation because that's just two members talking outside of the meeting.
Well, I just thought I'd just wait until the meeting, so just to be safe.
So I think if Chris wants to talk with Candy about certain issues he has with, that's something that they could like talk about on the phone call.
I said, I sent everybody, I said, Jackie, I sent you a link to it so that you could actually go into it and just to look at if you wanted to. And like I said, I just went in, I just registered up and played with it, the free version to see what it looked like, how it reacts. And on a personal level, I haven't gotten any kinds of junk mail and anything like that from just playing with the system. Whereas I did with the other one, that one only gave me 7 days to go in and do anything to it, that Snap one. And I got a lot of junk mail and a lot of stuff from that. So this I didn't. I like the fact that the people in the town don't have to register for it. They just go in, click the form, and then they just fill it out, and it goes directly into that little folder, so that the treasurer can look at it and the coordinator can look at it. It's not going to all kinds of eyes and stuff. Whereas the other one, I just felt like it wasn't as secure when it was going to where it was going.
Is this something that we think that we want to use? Chris?
So I definitely think online registration is the way to go. It's just which tool we want to pick, right? And I mean, I would like to learn more information about whatever tool, right? And plus we're buying software. I don't know if there's acquisition laws for the town or the state of Massachusetts to buy software. I mean, $300 seems kind of cheap, right? But it's holding a lot of personal information and stuff like that too. So we want to be careful with that. And then there's a correlation between signups and Unipay. Sounds like that's a manual process. I didn't know if there was some kind of integration there. There's a little bit to think about, right? I mean, I don't want to make this harder than it is, but when we start asking people to type in their information into something, we should make sure that it's secure.
The Unipay is just a regular link. You just put the link on it. So
Yeah, but you got to type people's name in there and make sure that they go to the right spot in Unipay. And then you got to have a printout from whatever this software is, right? And then match it up to whoever pays in Unipay, right?
Okay, so it's a link. So you put just a regular link, like I can copy and paste a link to Facebook or any website, and you're putting that and you're putting that little attachment, and the person's clicking it and they're going there.
I think.
So I understand that, but for middle school or high school, it's the same thing. It's a link, but you're responsible for typing in the right information so they can correlate it on that back end, right? So with the family ID that the school uses, you have to make sure you type in the same information in Unipay, and then someone has to go in there and say, Chris Loddick signed up in, this system, and then Chris Loddick paid in this system, check, and then, all the way through.
So the Unipay, our treasurer, Derek, he gets all that information through the town treasurer. And so he would get the report for that. And so Jackie get the report on that. And then they would go into the system for Jersey Watch, and they would click on that. and into who registered. And so that would be the only person that would be seeing that, plus the coordinator that we hired. So I would be them could go into it, and it would be the coordinator that of that time that would be into it, could look at who's in it. But like I said, I mean, personally, I don't think it's any different than, me having, everybody sending me emails to Gmail. I mean, Gmail, I mean, how secure is Gmail? I mean, they sending me a bunch of stuff, people's emails are going back and forth. I mean, I have, was it wibbly.com? I mean, I do that for my, turkey trot. I do that for my boosters. I've had it for 5 or 6 years now. I've never had a problem. I do the free version. I don't get all kinds of crazy stuff from it. I've never had any problem. And so I mean, I think this product's fine, but there are other products out there, like you said, if you want to do the research. I just think that I mean, I feel bad for the basketball coordinator. He's gonna have to do everything paper. He's gonna type it all in, I mean, I just had to do one race form the other day, and I was like, wow, I totally forgot how bad it is to read people's names. Like
So
their
I
handwriting.
think we do need some sort of an automated system. So, they're not registered unless they pay.
Right.
We're gonna run into a big mess, I think, if we have to verify that everybody paid before we can say they're
Well, you do-
registered. It leaves a lot of margin for error, I think.
But then you have to go paper because there is no program out there. I mean, the schools don't even have it. They have a link too. They have to, the IADs have to go and they have to match it up. There is no system. I've talked to the Arbitra, I've talked to the first one that Narragansett, whatever the title of that one for whatever. I've talked to those companies and they don't have it either. There's no, because Unipay is its own separate entity, and all the towns and all the cities use Unipay because it's the most secure type of format for cities and towns. So everybody has to put a link, and everybody has to go in separate, and you have to chase down that money that way from those people who registered. Basically, you have to say to them, you can't start on the first day if you're not paid up. It's just the way it is. That the only sure way is registration, old-fashioned form, in person or mailed in the mail with a check or cash. That's the only way. You're not going to use, like I use RaceWire. It's not RaceWire. I'm using whatever platform they're using for money. They're collecting it. They're sending me the money directly. It goes directly into my bank account for the turkey trot. The same thing with my 5K. The money, I used Run Sign Up for that one. I use a different platform on that one. And that's the same thing. They register, everything's filled out. And then all that money, after a certain point, they make a deposit into my 5K account. I give them the,
So the only way to automate it is to not use Unipay.
yeah, that's the only thing. The only way you can have a direct tie where it's going to check off the box and say someone paid is if you use a PayPal, you use a RaceWire, you use, even Jersey Watch they have that company, I forgot which one it is. It's like it's a famous one. They use, I think it was in the email, he says it. I don't know if it's Stripe, which is basically, I think that one's something is, I want to say it's tied to PayPal somehow, or maybe I forgot. They're all intertwined in some of these companies, but Stripe is it's a very popular one, like PayPal. A lot of the platforms use it for paying. I don't even, like I said, they all do different ones so that's the bank account. And then that company basically sends you a direct deposit into whatever bank account you have. So,
All right.
that's how that works.
So are we going to table this until everybody gets more information and does more research? Derek?
Yeah, I would say we should table it.
And I just want to say one more thing. If you do the kind of form when they register, when they fill out like the job application through the town or to be on the commission, and it goes into a box like that, like Gmail has that and that stuff. Again, you have to match up that money to go with that form. So that payment still goes into Unipay, and it's like I said, I did a lot of time and effort on it. I tried to find that one, but they don't exist. Unfortunately. So then you use either paper or finding a platform that, it's going to be, then there's not 100% trustworthy one. I mean, there's not 100% that someone's not going to sell you or whatever, or someone's
Okay.
not going to hack you or whatever.
So then I'm going to change my question. Do we want to go with the Jersey Watch platform and send it up to the town administrator? Or do we want to table this and have more research done and everybody look at it and see what they think? Chris?
I mean, I'd be interested in what they have to say, but I'm up for whatever. I mean, I do this all day, every day, right? So, I
Well, you do
mean,
this
I
all,
guess it's up to them. What's that?
you do this all day, every day, so what do you think?
Well, I'd like to understand their privacy setting or policies and stuff a little bit more. So if you can reach out, send that stuff directly to me, I'd be interested in reading that. And then I guess once we send it up to the town administrator, it's up to them to, if there's any type of Massachusetts software acquisition laws or whatever that we have to follow, right? So I guess that would be up to them.
I
So-
mean, this stuff, I've worked on, I just want to say this, I've been doing this for a while now. And I've sent everybody all the things, the website, how to get to it, all the policy and privacies are all sitting there. Anybody of us could have went on there and looked at it at any time point. I mean, there are lots of products out there. You could pick a different product. That's fine. I have no vested interest in this product, but I'm just saying that I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. If it has to go up to another level to have other people look at it to see if it's even something the town's even able to do, I mean, it's just gonna be, we're just going through this meeting after meeting, and I would just rather just send it up there just to have someone else have eyes on it and see. If it's garbage, it's garbage. We move on to something else and find another thing. At the meantime, Chris can find another product too, and he can bring it to another meeting and whatever, or bring that one. I mean, but I think it should probably go up and have it looked at and just so we can move on to something, another product or another thing.
Dave, what do you think?
So we're talking about Jersey Watch is the new one here.
Yeah, are we gonna move it up to the town administrator, or are we gonna do some more research?
So while we were chatting, I was also Googling to see what's out there. It's a little easier when you're zooming that you can do these things. I mean, I gotta be honest, that I did a search and it's like the top 10 that popped up. This was not one of them. So I mean, I'm fine with whatever. I guess I would have the same concerns as Chris on security and privacy issues. But I'll go with whatever everybody else wants to do. And whether you want to go to a vote on whether we move this to the next level or just do it.
Very helpful.
It's all right.
So is there anybody from the town that could tell us what the requirements are for a software acquisition like this? I mean, it's not that expensive, but it's a big deal, right? So someone's buying software for the town to do tax administration and all that other stuff, Unipay. There's got to be some requirements for that, right?
You want to ask that to Adam? He's sitting here.
Oh, is it? Yeah, sure. Whoever can answer.
So what I would have to do is talk with my treasurer collector to see how it works with the processing aspect. But at the same time, I would have my executive assistant who handles the IT do some research on it and look through. I mean, the costs I believe are pretty nominal. So if it's a software with mass procurement law, I don't see that being an issue in regards to how much it would be pertaining to the service and funding wise. But I guess the concerns I would have to look into is that were suggested here is the privacy and whether the process can be done administratively here at Town Hall.
So I'm not worried about the process, necessarily the financials behind it, right? I'm worried about if there's, like if you buy software for the federal government, a lot of time there's like it has to be FedRAMP approved or certified by somebody before you do it. And that's what I'm more interested in. The cost is what scares me the most because it's not that expensive, right? So,
So what I would, Chris?
Good.
So what I would do is I would look into whether or not other cities or towns are using the similar software and whether it's even feasible at this point.
So we should float it up to you guys then.
We'll do the research.
Okay.
We could find us another one. That would work, that'd be
No, so I
great.
mean, I agree with the concept. I agree that we should automate it. I just don't want to be responsible for a breach of people's personal information, right? And want to make sure we just do it right. That's all. This might be the best one. It might not. Like I say, I'm all for it, but like, you know, got to make sure that we're holding people's, you know, information private. And I would say the same thing if a lot of personal information is getting emailed back and forth too.
So can we all vote to send it up to town hall?
I'll make a motion that we sent it up to, where are we sending it?
To
Town
town.
administration.
Town administration.
I second. Derek,
Yes.
Joy,
I don't know. I think I'll pass.
Chris,
Yes.
Dave, Dave,
Yes.
all right. So we are going to pass this up to the town administrator. All right.
Abstain.
Huh? Oh, I have to vote, ask you?
You vote?
I did vote, yeah.
I didn't vote.
Oh, you did not.
Yes,
I'm sorry,
that's
Candace.
okay.
I'm sorry. All right, so moving on. All right, we need a community preservation committee member from the rec commission. Joy was our previous representative. Her term has expired this June. There are many opportunities for CPC to fund things for the rec, and we need to nominate a new representative.
I'd
I
like to-
haven't said that I wouldn't do it. Does that mean you just want somebody else?
No,
Or
I just have
be
to,
Nobody ever told me my term had expired. But I would just as soon stay on it unless somebody else wants it.
It's okay.
Hmm?
I don't see this on the agenda.
It would be in the new business. I think we skipped the sponsorship.
oh, we just get the
I would just,
sponsorship.
I would request the board to put it on their next agenda though. If you're
Okay.
gonna do a vote, just to be safe, because
Okay.
I thought it was already on the agenda.
Oh, my- I'm
looking at
sorry.
it and I didn't see it there, so.
I think it would be under new business. We
It
can't,
would.
we can't vote under new business if we
You
want.
could get a complaint filed if you.
Okay,
vote
so
on
then let's
something.
put,
On a
let's,
new business.
Yeah, but
squash
you
that.
could suggest it to go to the next agenda.
Okay, so I make a motion that we put the CPC, what do you call it? Nomination to a
Yeah.
vote our next
I
meeting.
don't think you even need, I think you could just suggest the chair to place it. on the next
To
agenda.
suggest, I make a motion to suggest that we
I thought she said
do the
Jeff. I was like, no.
CPC nomination
Okay,
for our spot on their committee
For the next meeting.
for the next
Yes.
meeting.
all right, I will
Will
second.
that be after the town meeting?
Our meeting's on.
Do we have to,
Third.
that we don't, should we have, because they didn't have a quorum, you know that, right? They didn't have a quorum their last
They
meeting.
did not.
No, I watched
And
it.
they,
They
they
couldn't do
have
anything.
not scheduled, they
Well-
anticipate they'll schedule another meeting
On
before the end of
Tuesday.
the year,
Yeah.
but. they
No, he
didn't.
said that, he goes, can you meet Tuesday? We prefer in the daytime and then the woman said, I could do it or something like, or she said Tuesdays are good for me, but he was talking about doing earlier in the day.
Right,
Yeah.
that nothing's scheduled.
Yeah,
yet.
nothing's scheduled yet, because they made like they couldn't do a vote and they didn't know what to do, but that's basically what they wanted to do. To check on that, to see if they could make it another like the following week or something. That's what I got from it,
Okay,
the little bit I watched, because there's only a short minute.
right,
Because I was just curious what they do, like, I'm curious about them, like, I like want to know about the 2:30 and all that, I'd like figure out what it's all about, you know?
I would say it's unlikely they will schedule another meeting before November 3rd.
Yeah.
but That's just a guess.
All right, so I skipped sponsorship, so we'll bounce back up. Sponsorships for,
So we have to vote on it, don't we all have to vote on that question, to move it up? I mean, to put it on our agenda for the next
I thought
meeting?
we did. Okay.
Or do we want to go back to it and go to?
We don't have to vote on it, we just suggest.
Oh, we have to suggest it to the chair,
Yeah.
okay?
Which we did.
Which we
Oh,
did. All
That's
right,
a lot.
sponsorships. Is this something that we want to do this season or just let it go?
Well, first, I have a first question. Do we have a concession stand or is that a no
For what?
for basketball?
Yeah,
So.
if we're gonna do it, then we are gonna do it outside like they used to do in previous years.
So the concession stand would be outside and they. have
Not
to-
outside, I meant like outside of the gym.
Oh, outside the gym. I just didn't know with the coat, with the mask and the whatever, if they were allowing us, the school's allowing us to do a concession stand.
That's something we need to talk to Dr. Caspan about.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about that.
Oh.
Did we get the
Because if we're
okay?
not, like, I mean, concession stand don't really make much at those things anyway. You don't really make a wicked lot. But I would say to help with the program and stuff, I mean,
I would
putting
like
it
to
on the
do
back of the name, doing a sponsor is a good idea. Plus, it helps with community, you know. I think a lot of people
Well-
have asked about it.
So with basketball, they wear jerseys that turn inside and outside. So
Okay,
like if they're home, they're this color, if they're away, they're that color.
okay.
Or we can just do t-shirts this year.
Basketball season start?
Is that really expensive to do a double print like that?
December 11th.
They just don't do the thingies you have to wear.
Pennies?
Yeah.
I learned that this year.
Yeah. That's what mine always had to do when they did rec. They had to wear the whatever if they were away.
I like t-shirts if we have time to do t-shirts because I think kids like wearing them to school and stuff and be part of a team. Never liked the double pennies, reversible pennies, but that's just me.
Yeah.
We can do t- I feel like if we do t-shirts, we can get sponsors.
We do
on the back.
sleeveless t-shirts. I mean, I know a lot of kids like to cut the sleeves off of basketball. I mean, for the older kids, maybe for the older side things, if they're interested in it, if the coordinator wants something like that. But the little ones, I think they don't care. I mean, I've seen a lot of, like I said, I've seen a lot of the third graders and up want to cut the sleeves off.
Can they wear sleeveless shirts to school?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Like if they wanted to wear their basketball shirt to school?
I don't know.
I'm not sure what the.
Let's just
dress
keep the
code is.
sleeves. I don't like the
Okay.
sleeves.
They'll just cut them off then.
And they can cut them off after.
They usually do.
After the season.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, they
yeah.
usually cut them off. They usually cut them off. The ones who want it, they cut them off during.
All right, so the sponsorships, is this something that we want to go with?
Do we have enough time between now and then where we would have to get the jersey order in by to
Yes.
get sponsors?
It's gonna be kind of close, but yeah.
Well, I would say try to get a few of them, a few of the teams, put
Yeah.
them on the back of the shirt. It'd be nice to get some, you know, I think it's community. You know, a lot of the businesses have missed, I mean,
Yeah,
they've
but
asked about it.
If we're gonna get sponsors for some of the teams, we would want to make sure that all of the teams have a name on
Right.
the back of their shirt. We wouldn't want to do half the teams. I don't think that
No.
would be, would look right on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many teams that we're gonna have. That's what you need, how many sponsors you
And
need.
we don't have that information yet.
Yeah. Or we just leave it to the coordinator and say that we vote for sponsors if he wants to do sponsors. Or is
I
that
wanna
not
go
his
for
thing?
sponsors.
Yeah,
I wanna
yeah,
go
me
for
too.
sponsors.
Me too.
Just saying.
What would the price point be for that?
I thought we decided it would be $50 for a banner and $100 for a shirt.
Yeah, see,
Or we
somebody,
just wanna skip the banners this year and just go straight for the shirts.
yeah.
I think we should just do that.
Yeah, but somebody brought this up to me. Well, they didn't bring it up to me, but they said something and I said, whoa, I didn't think of that. They said, how much is it for a sponsorship? And I said, I think it's like $100 if we do it. And the person said, that's it? We paid $500. And I said, what? And they said, well, it's to cover the cost, basically whatever the cost of the shirts for the team, you basically want and a few extra dollars in case the team needs any other needs. And I said, well, I never thought of that one because I'm not a, you know, I just did running, so I didn't really think of that. That's what it basically is. The sponsor is supposed to actually, because they put their name on the back of the shirt, so therefore they pay for the team's shirts, basically.
So we spent $100.
So if we vote yes on doing sponsors for basketball, who's gonna be kind of coordinating that and, you know, going out and talking to businesses and getting sponsors? I would think that it would have to be kind of a group effort for the whole board, but, somebody
Right.
should kind
Well,
of take point on it.
I personally feel like I can't do it because I just did Friday. I just got some money for my turkey trot. So I've been making a lot of phone calls for the local businesses on that, and I might confuse them on that fact. So, I mean, if I run into something and somebody asks me, like I said, I have a lead on one that's $500 for us. I can tell you who that is later, but, other than that, I mean, I can help with mailing out something,
Do we know who the former sponsors were so that we can ask them
Yeah,
what they
good one.
paid? No.
We don't have a list on that, no. Chris, do you remember any of the sponsors that we've had in the past for any of our programs?
I know we had Hoodala, and I know for basketball, they donated Celtics tickets. And then we raffled those off, and then a family got to go, and another company donated the limo ride there in front back.
Yeah, a lot of businesses, a lot of times they like to offer their services or a gift card or something instead of money, because it's just easier for them to do that. But for a back of the shirt, that would be a cash sponsorship. It'd be a cash
Well, I
donation,
have time.
donation.
Take
donation.
time
I
To do
mean,
thing like
maybe a
this, but
donation.
Would you like to do it, Joy?
I don't mind begging, I always have done. How do you think we've gotten a lot of things here for the town?
So does that mean Joy's volunteering to do it?
Yes,
Oh.
I don't mind,
That'd be-
but I need to know what I'm looking for.
Money.
When I went to
Like a-
Generous, I knew I was looking for bricks for the new safe and.
Do you mean
all
like
this.
almost like a script or like a list of some what
I need,
businesses or
I need
something?
to know,
Businesses and amounts that we're looking for.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
Okay.
the amount is the most important thing. I don't want to ask for $100 if in reality, we need $500.
So we would need the cost to cover the jerseys and putting their names on the back of the jersey, so we would have to get that information.
how many would be on a team? You'd have to get that from Xavier.
We have to get teams first. Okay, so.
Well,
That's-
he
that's why I
probably could
asked
give
ahead
you,
of time.
yeah.
We'll
He
figure
well,
this
no,
out.
he could probably give us an estimate based, what he think, you know what I mean? It could be an estimation. I mean, it's not gonna be, I mean, close enough. I mean, if it's, it's 125 and you go to 100, if it's 200, it costs you for, a team of 14 or something like that. I don't think it is, but I'm not doing the math. But, and you got 175. I mean, that's money that you had that helped pay for the shirts, that didn't take away for the fees, that helps with, if we need new balls, if we need whatever it is the program needs, sometimes you need stuff.
So if we want to move forward with this, I think we can figure out a rough idea, a number of teams, number of kids per team, and then we
Okay.
could definitely figure out the cost per jersey.
Okay.
And we would have to do all that, maybe over the next week or so, and then get a cost of what we'd be looking for, or a total amount we'd be looking for.
Do we need to
Right.
vote on that before the next meeting, or so we can get this going? Or should we?
I would just vote that the master of the cost of what the shirt is, the estimation of what you think it is. I'd use Derek's judgment on that and Xavier's information on that. I have no problem with that fee. I mean, $100 might be low, it might be perfect. I don't know until we have the numbers. 150 might be where the park is. Like I said, the person said to me that they paid 500 and I was like, well, we'll take that. If they
So,
still want to give it.
I would motion that we put the sponsorship to a vote then, based on the information that we'll get once we determine the cost of the jersey and the number of jerseys we'll need.
I second that.
I'll third it.
Well, then we all have to
Oh,
vote
I
on
don't
it.
need to?
You have to
You have
call
to
our
vote.
names, everybody's name. You have to call
It's been a
everybody's
day, guys.
name.
It's been a day. Chris. Your name.
Yes.
Is it yes, nay, or aye?
Yes, I think you said yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Chris, Joy,
Yes,
Candace?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
so there, Derek. You make
Oh,
the motion, so we
Yeah,
don't.
okay.
All right, so that has it. So that's going to be Joy. Joy, I'm available to help you. What do you need help?
you're not taking it. thought you'd be teaching.
Okay.
So I just wanted, so you're going to redo the minutes for the next time for our meeting, and I just wanted,
Figure this
right.
out.
I'm just saying, would it be better, because I know that some of the other groups and some of the other committees are now doing like a clerk where the secretary is becoming a clerk, and they're just okaying minutes if someone else does it, if that's something you'd be interested in, something like that.
I don't even understand what you're talking
So
about.
basically, someone else would write the minutes and stuff, and they would give them to you, and then you could look at them and see if that's something, you know what I mean, if that's easier. I know that advisory's having somebody do theirs, and other ones that do it, yeah. So I didn't know if that, so basically you look it over and then you recommend to us if, you know, if they look good, okay, and then we just vote on them. I think that's how it goes if you're became like a clerk instead of a secretary. If that's easier for you, I don't,
Anything so foolish in my life.
well, I'm just saying that it's a lot to write the minutes. It's a lot. I mean, I talk fast, so I was just like, it's a lot.
Well,
So,
number
I
one,
don't like
there's
minutes,
supposed to
so.
be notes.
right.
You're not supposed to have a complete paragraph for anything. Well, there again, in my day, which was 100 years ago, that's what we were stressed. Notes are what you do, and supposedly everybody has remembered what all the subjects were about. But nevertheless, I have no intentions of getting into writing a book every week as to what's going on. They are notes.
It should be
And,
bullet
So
points,
what-
I believe.
I don't
What
know,
is
because
the-
the state has different, I don't know what we're supposed to
yeah,
do
well,
nowadays.
state is another thing.
So that's why I'm asking Adam, what are we supposed to have minutes written formally, or are we supposed to have
Well, I
minutes?
think as long as you cover the portion of the discussion or see YouTube video, and then you have all the motions of the minutes, who was there, there's certain requirements that you need to
Yes,
meet, and
you
they're all
have to have
posted.
Who was at the meeting, definitely. and-
Who's at the meeting, who's absent,
Yeah.
motions taken, a brief description of what was discussed. And then you can put see YouTube video, if it's a long deliberation. But for the most part, all that's all listed on the state webpage of what you exactly need. There's certain areas that you need to cover within the minutes, and when the meeting was adjourned, when it started.
Like I said, I mean, if it would be easier, I mean, I'm not a big minute person. I mean, I wouldn't do it. But, that is, like I said, a lot of them are moving into that realm where somebody else
That
is
just
taking
seems-
them.
So, I mean, just me being here a couple years, I think the notes are fine. And like you say, now that we're being recorded on YouTube, I think that, someone wants to get into it, they can go back and watch the YouTube video, right?
Hmm.
I don't
Maybe
know.
we could just put that on the bottom of all your notes, Joy. and
Yeah.
see you-
Yeah. I think the notes are just, I think
That
the
is-
notes are fine for our purposes. I mean,
Well, it's not our purposes, it's the state of Massachusetts requirement and, whatever you call it, meeting law or whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying, I just want to make sure, because we don't have really any minutes up right now and stuff on our government page. And I just want to make sure that we're doing it correctly. And I mean, it's a lot. I mean, to write minutes and type them out on a computer and get it up on, because you have to get it up on the government site and stuff. And that person could do all that stuff. So that basically the clerk would be given it and you look at it and you read it and you say, if there's any mistakes, you go back to that person and say, well, I feel like there's a mistake here. But then they do all they basically do.
And
I mean,
who pays the person?
no, I mean, because we could have someone like Jackie do it. I mean, she's taking notes. She's sitting there anyway, if she wanted to. If she wanted to
Do
do
you
it.
get paid for doing this?
Recreation is one of my.
I mean, she's doing that. She's taking the notes and she put in, I mean, because somebody's got to put them up online.
So you really don't need a secretary.
Well,
You
we
just
do.
bypass it and go to Jersey.
No, we need a clerk though. We still need a clerk to look over everything to make sure that, because they have to represent us too
I
on
think
our
they're called
board.
the recording
So
clerk.
if I can,
Yes, sir, go ahead.
I do plenty of minutes and assessors meetings all the time. They really, like Adam said, you have to notate when the meeting starts, who's present, bullet points through your agenda, briefly what was discussed on anything. Whoever made a motion, you have to say who made the motion and who voted yay or nay on all the motions. And then basically when the meeting ended. They don't have to be elaborate, they just have to be an outline and go to what votes were on there. As far as putting them on the town website, I work on that town website platform all the time. So, and also we're supposed to vote, review the minutes each meeting
Yeah.
from the prior meeting, and then vote to accept or amend.
Okay.
Right.
And then after they're accepted, then they can go on the town website.
Where are they on the town website? Not underneath the agenda? Where's
should
they at?
be- They
My
should be
town
under the recreation page. They should get uploaded on the town
They
rec
go on,
page.
they go on, excuse me, they go on the, I think it's called My Town, and you have to put our zip code in it, all of them, all the towns are like that. All the cities are like that, you have to go to My Town, what is it?
My town government.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at our website, it says minutes and agenda, but I don't see minutes. I was just seeing if there was example of what other boards do in town.
It's the way the calendar is, for the calendar for this meeting, where our agenda is actually, where you could actually print, where I printed out my, my copy of the agenda before I came to the meeting tonight. It's up on that page, that on my government page. But that's where that's what, oh. That leg just fell off the table.
I'm not sure that,
Yeah,
fix that.
Right here, screw.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's in the right spot.
Okay, that was
Never seen
scary.
anything like that before.
Okay.
All the time I've been in this room.
Apparently there's a ghost in the
I
room.
don't think they want us to talk about minutes anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
I put a
Should I?
spell on you. Oh,
what's this?
This is the,
Oh, it's about minutes.
yeah,
Yeah, that's all the information according to the state.
Excellent.
What we have to do for it. I just wanted to make sure we put our stuff up right, so we don't get in trouble, like we get some kind of, I don't know what they do to us, but I don't.
All right. So let's close this down. So to recap,
Okay.
we're going to move Jersey Watch up to the town administrator.
Yes, we voted on that. Did we do it correctly? Did everybody say their votes? I think we did.
yes.
Yes, okay. I'm just making sure we did all the
All
votes
right.
correctly.
Joy is going to go out and get us some sponsorships.
Did we all vote on that? I don't remember. Did I vote on that? Did we vote on that one
Yes.
correctly? Okay. Just
All
checking.
right. And
Could check the
then-
minutes.
To check the minutes.
I didn't
Maybe.
write anything down. That's about what I feel on this.
You can watch the YouTube video.
Yes,
Yeah.
watch.
And then, so we're gonna go talk to Xavier and get a guesstimation of how many kids he had last or year before, and we're gonna base that on that.
And the shirts will say, are we gonna go with the Templeton again?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
I just curious.
yes. And Xavier would like the kids to have masks that say Templeton Rec on them also, or Templeton Basketball. My shirt guy doesn't do that, so.
I know, well, there's a couple of local ones, like even if you go one town over that
Yeah.
do the math.
Yeah.
Why are you shaking your head?
We would need costs on that. We'd
Yeah.
have to vote on that.
Well, I'll get on that.
Okay.
They also do, I mean, I don't know if it's expensive, but they do sell a shirt that the mask is attached to the shirt. It's actually a thing. I seen it in the beginning of the,
that work?
my shirt person sent me a thing on it. I didn't really pay attention to it, but it's a thing.
Is it a turtleneck?
I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't he sent me it and I was at the time, I wasn't really like loving masks. So I didn't really look at it, but it is a thing.
Are kids wearing masks while playing
It
ball?
has-
have
it
to.
have to.
Oh, how awful.
Yeah, well, that's the reason why I don't think, we had said we would do an adult one, but nobody can see adults putting masks and going out there on the court.
That would be rough.
So let's move on. When do you guys want to get together again? Does anybody have any comments?
Oh, we have to
No, we're on TV, remember?
do that.
Okay, so I have an update under my comments here. You all know Jackie's your representative, so should you have any concerns or whatever, you make sure you bring them to Jackie. She usually will discuss with me, and that's like your person for recreation, which most of you already know anyways. Now, an update, the select board designated me at their last meeting to proceed forward with the Gilman Waite building. So we have $10,000 in that account for improvements to Gilman Waite already. So that's going to pay for the architect to come up with a plan to include specifications to complete the building at Gilman Waite. I will be submitting the request to the Capital Improvements Committee, and we'll be proceeding forward with that. Because as this body's, the Recreation Commission, this town doesn't have a Parks Commission adopted, so therefore, in the absence of the Parks Commission, the Select Board have that authority. Now, my other update will be for the fall town meeting in front of me that the Select Board approved. The Select Board is going to be going for special legislation with Parks and Recreation Commission. This will require special legislation because Parks Commissions are elected. Because this commission is appointed, it will establish a Parks and Recreation Commission in the town of Templeton that is appointed. So you will essentially become the role of from Rec Commission to the Parks and Recreation Commission. And I will send these articles out to the Recreation Commission as well. And the second article will be to amend the language within the bylaw of the Recreation Commission to include Parks and Recreation Commission. And you had some weird language in there from Precinct A, 3 members from Precinct A, 3 members to be appointed by Precinct B, and 1 member to be appointed at large. But we have a Precinct C, so we just struck all that language out to keep it cleaner, and the added powers and duties and purpose of the Parks and Recreation Commission. So once this gets approved by the town meeting and approved by the legislature, then that will in effect create your Parks and Recreation Commission, which will give this board more authority. Those votes will be taken up at the fall town meeting on November 3rd. That's something that the town never did, and we're just cleaning up some of that language.
Yes, I don't disagree with any of that, but what does that entail? Where we're going from recreation to Parks and Recreation? Does that give us more responsibility over the parks overall?
Correct.
Okay.
Like right now, you have operational oversight.
Yeah.
This would give you more authority over those fields.
Okay.
Gilman as well?
Yeah, like, so basically, like last time we had the Gilman Waite project that went through, and there was a lot of back and forth regarding that project and who has authority. In throughout that time period, it was discovered that this town never adopted the Parks Commission. In the absence of that, that's why you make those referrals to the Select Board in the time being. Now, certain things like donations under state law, they still have to go to the Select Board because they have to accept them, like what we just did with the electronic scoreboard, how the board accepted that donation. And then this commission, Jackie will put that on, or this board will put that on the agenda to discuss, because they accepted that donation, where are they going to put that scoreboard? You know, and we've been in talks about that, and that's something that you could work with Jackie on moving forward. Right now, the snow's going to be flying soon, so I think that's a perfect project to take on for April. It's a nice scoreboard. I think, what was it, a $8,000 donation to the town a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So that'll be something nice to have at Gilman, and then to get the project moving to finish the building as well. So making strides in the right direction. I just want to give that update to this board. Hope to see you at fall town meeting.
Excellent. Thank you.
So after we get the architect to come in and look at everything and give us some plans and a price and stuff like that, where do we go from there?
That's when you would get the value, the total cost you'd be going to town meeting for appropriation.
So if we have town meeting in the fall, when would be the next one? Would this be done by? No, because that's November 3rd.
No, not this one. It would be in the spring.
It'd be in the
You would
spring,
have
It
to
could
wait
be
till
as early
spring.
as the fall to get the numbers,
like November 3rd.
not specifically November 3rd, not this fall, but not the annual, because the annual will be going to the capital improvements committee to be getting this done, because the money's already been appropriated, the 10,000
Yeah.
for this improvements at Gilman Way. And by the time the architect comes up with the plans, the specifications to complete the building, because you have all this unfinished work. So you need to have somebody that's a professional that's licensed to do that in order to finish that project. But I don't want to go on too long with your comments because I'm not on the agenda. So I just wanted to give you that update with that project. So that will be ongoing and we'll proceed with that.
All right. Does anybody else have any comments, questions, or concerns?
I don't know.
All right, I make a motion to adjourn.
Next meeting.
Oh, next meeting
Yeah,
will
we
be,
gotta pick up.
sorry, I am tired. All right, do we want to come in a couple weeks? Do we want to come in a month?
Probably.
Probably what?
We gotta come at the end of soccer, probably to wrap it up. Like to get the, to find out what everything it did.
Well, soccer ends this Saturday.
Whatever that, when the report can meet, like, so we can figure out it, so that we can put that in the books for next year. We can have that on the record. And then
Wednesday, November
basketball.
10th. We have any
Uh-oh,
Marines here? Does that work?
November 10th. We have Wednesdays, we can't. meet
How about the
on-
9th, the Tuesday,
I think it's advisory, right?
Planning board,
Planning board.
Monday, the 8th?
yes.
All right. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah. Oh, I do have a question about, what, did we just go, what was, oh yeah, we did. I was like signups for soccer. Okay. I mean, not basketball. Okay, I didn't remember.
Yeah, I sent them all home.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I brought them to the schools today.
Yeah, I got it. I was thinking of something else.
All right, so next meeting's Monday, November 8th at 6:30.
Yeah.
Here at Town Hall. All right. Now may I motion to adjourn?
A second.
Ms. Joy,
Yes.
Derek,
Yes.
Dan, Dave,
Yep.
Chris.
Yes.
All right, thank you for